Last month, a customer brought me a Honda with 438,000 miles on the original engine. Original VTC actuators, original internals, no rebuild, no swap. I assumed there had to be a mistake. Then, I went through his maintenance records and noticed something. It wasn't premium fuel. It wasn't some additive from an infomercial. It was one maintenance pattern I keep seeing on high-mileage Hondas that just refuse to die. I'm Dave, 20 years working on Hondas. Today I'm showing you exactly what that pattern is, and the mistake most owners make without ever realizing it. Modern drivers think synthetic oil changed everything. 10,000-mile intervals, a maintenance minder percentage. Drive it down to 0 and forget it. I get it. The marketing is convincing. Better oil, longer intervals, less thinking about it. But after 2 decades on high-mileage Hondas, I keep noticing the same split. The ones crossing 300,000 and 400,000 miles almost never ran the maximum interval the minder allowed. The ones coming in at 130,000 needing major work almost always did. The minder doesn't know you sat in school pickup line traffic for 20 minutes, that you towed a small trailer through August, that you did nothing but 2-mile trips all winter where the engine never got fully warm. It's an estimate, not a measurement. Useful as a reference, not reliable as a rule. Step 1. Stop waiting for the percentage. 5,000 miles, every time. Honda's own severe duty guidance, printed in the back of the owner's manual where almost nobody reads it, calls for shorter intervals for vehicles used mostly for short trips, stop-and-go driving, extreme temperatures, or towing. That describes most Hondas on the road, not the exception. The customer with 438,000 miles changed his oil every 5,000 without exception, going all the way back to when the car was new. Not when it was convenient, not when the dash said it was time. 5,000 every time. That discipline is the foundation everything else sits on. Step 2. Never drain cold oil. This is the habit that separates an old-school mechanic from a 10-minute quick lube. Most shops drain a cold engine because it's faster, plug comes out, tech's already on the next car. Fast, and it leaves a meaningful share of the old, contaminated oil behind. Cold oil is thick. It clings to the pan walls and sits in the galleries. Drain a cold engine, and you're leaving 10 to 15% of the old oil behind, ready to mix with the fresh fill before the first mile. Hot oil pours out fast and carries contaminants with it in suspension. Drive 15 minutes first. Real driving, highway if you can, get it to full temperature and keep it there, then drain immediately while it's hot. Carefully, because hot oil burns. That contamination left behind by a cold drain doesn't disappear. It circulates, it deposits on internal surfaces, and over hundreds of thousands of miles it contributes to sludge that accelerates timing chain and VTC wear. A warm drain costs nothing extra except 10 minutes of driving first. Over the years, I kept getting asked the same question. What's the actual schedule for a Honda that's going to last? So I put together the Honda Longevity Blueprint. Intervals, mileage checkpoints, and the mistakes I see right before the expensive stuff shows up. Links in the description. Step 3. The filter is not a commodity. I had a customer bring in a 1.5-liter turbo with a faint rattle on cold start, the kind that fades once oil pressure builds. Oil changes were on time, full synthetic. Records were clean. When I asked what filter he'd been using, it was whatever was cheapest at the parts counter that day, the logic being a filter's a filter. They all do the same job. They don't. The VTC actuator that adjusts valve timing on that engine depends on clean, consistent oil pressure to function correctly, and the filter is the last thing standing between the oil and that actuator. A filter that bypasses early or uses inconsistent media isn't neutral. It's a slow tax on one of the more expensive components in the engine. The repair on a worn VTC actuator and chain guide starts around $1,800. The difference between a genuine Honda filter and the cheapest one on the shelf is about $8 a change. I've pulled engines that ran genuine filters their whole life. The passages are clean, the actuator moves freely. I've pulled engines that ran whatever was convenient, and the difference is visible without a magnifying glass. Step 4. Understand what your Honda actually is. Almost every owner I talk to thinks they drive under normal conditions. Almost none of them do. You idle in the school pickup line. You tow a small trailer a few weekends a year. You warm the car up in the driveway every winter morning. You do a 5-mile commute where the engine barely gets warm before you shut it off. Congratulations, your owner's manual already considers that severe duty. That's not an insult, it's just what's printed in the back pages. Severe duty also means using oil that actually meets Honda's spec, not just the right viscosity number on the shelf. A generic 0W20 that meets the viscosity spec, but not Honda's full additive package, isn't formulated the same way. And these engines have specific lubrication requirements a generic oil may not fully satisfy. Most owners think they drive normal, the manual says otherwise, and the maintenance schedule should match what the car actually does, not what you wish it did. Step 5. Open the hood once a month. I had a customer tow in a 1.5-liter turbo almost a full quart low. He'd been on schedule, right filter, right oil, everything on paper looked correct, but he assumed a modern car would warn him before real damage happened. It doesn't always. The oil pressure light is not a level gauge. It activates once pressure drops below a critical threshold, which usually means something's already been running short for longer than anyone would want. Turbocharged engines can consume oil, not everyone does, and not at the same rate, but under load, in summer heat, with real mileage on it, consumption between changes is normal enough that it needs checking. A quart low on a healthy engine is manageable. A quart and a half low on an engine working hard is a different conversation. Reduced pressure to the turbo bearings, reduced film at the actuator, more heat at every friction surface. The 438,000-mile customer checked his dipstick once a month and wrote the reading in the same notebook as his oil change dates. Not because something was usually wrong, but because catching it early is how a car gets to 400,000 miles instead of a shoplift at 150,000. 45 seconds a month is the cheapest insurance there is on a high-mileage engine. Step 6. Let a hot engine cool down before you shut it off. I had a customer who towed a small camper every summer. Well-maintained car, strong engine, clean records. Around 90,000 miles, the turbo started showing shaft play. When I asked about his habits after towing, he'd pull in, park, shut it straight off. He'd never thought about what's happening inside that turbo in the 2 minutes after. The turbo on these engines spins at speeds that generate real heat, and oil flowing through the bearings carries that heat away while keeping the shaft lubricated. Shut the engine off right after a hard pull, and circulation stops immediately. But the turbo is still hot and the shaft is still spinning down, with the oil trapped in the bearing passages sitting in that heat with nowhere to go. That oil breaks down fast, and the carbon it leaves on the bearing surfaces is one of the most common causes of premature turbo wear on an otherwise well-maintained car. The fix is 2 to 3 minutes at idle after a hard drive before you shut it down. Not a long ritual, just enough for the shaft to spin down and the oil to carry some heat off before it stops moving. Diesel truck owners have known this for decades. Most Honda Turbo owners have never heard it once. After 20 years wrenching on these cars, I don't think any engine reaches 500,000 miles because of one trick. The ones that get there are owned by people doing boring things consistently. Changing oil at 5,000 without exception, draining it hot instead of cold, running a real filter instead of the cheapest one, checking the dipstick once a month, letting a hot turbo idle down before shutoff. None of it is exciting. All of it adds up to the difference between a car in the shop at 130,000 miles and one still running strong past 400,000. The Honda Longevity Blueprint has this whole approach laid out if you want it, links below. If this helped you, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.